and it's been vacant. They've been trying to sell it. Sellers seem pretty motivated, so we may be able to get a good price on it. It would need a full renovation. What's it listed at right now?
1.4. I was like, because otherwise, you know, we're gonna have to get it at a deep discount. And I said, you know, we probably want it at least 70%.
Hey, we're on our way to go check out a retail commercial building in Copperas Cove, Texas. We're meeting an entrepreneur community member there, David. He found this property. It's been listed with a broker for a while. It used to be a furniture store, and it's been vacant. They've been trying to sell it. Sellers seem pretty motivated, so we may be able to get a good price on it. It would need a full renovation, and we'd have to reconfigure the entire building to make it work for office spaces or retail. So it seems like a good deal depending on how much it's going to cost to renovate it, how long it'll take to renovate it, if we can get the renovation covered from a lender, and then also on the back end what we'll be able to lease it out for. But David's been hustling, he's been finding a lot of deals, so this would be a good one for us to partner on if the numbers make sense. And this is what it's about, being a part of the entrepreneur community. Our goal is to teach people how to do deals, how to find deals, and how to become financially free through real estate. And ultimately what we really want to do is buy more real estate with people. So this opportunity is exactly what we're looking for. David's been hustling and getting a lot done, so this is a good opportunity all the way around, and we'll be there in a minute.
Don't hold me to that. That's off the top of my head, but about a year, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's been the feedback from buyers so far?
Yeah, I just walked
Interesting,
mostly
right?
They just,
it's pretty big.
we've had a couple different ones, and it's just not the right shape, or they don't want to put the money into it. We had a major car manufacturer looking at it at one point. I'm thinking they were thinking maybe a sales room.
Who? Ford?
No, think more techie.
Tesla?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then other ones have talked about making it into multiple spaces, and I think they're just kind of overwhelmed by it. We did have a furniture store looking at it, what it was previously, and so.
What did Tesla say?
They were with a different company, working with a different agent, but yeah, they've been eyeing it for a while, so I don't have the feedback on it.
Huh. They just said not yet?
That's my guess. You know, they're making so many changes in the company with, you know, where they're structured and all that, but.
Could you imagine a bunch of Teslas out here?
Right?
We could lease it to them.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's interesting. Okay, and so there's been a lot of interest, just kind of an overwhelming project.
I think it is. I think a lot of people just don't have that imagination. And, you know, for some people it's easier to do new, build new than to revamp. But it's a great space. I mean, we talked about it when we were showing it once. I know we were taking the Matterport, and it would be a great banquet space, or like a conference center-based type of thing. So it's got a lot of possibilities.
Y'all are local here to Copperas Cove?
Our office is in Killeen, and then we did have one here in Cove, but we restructured for everybody in 2 buildings instead of 3. But yeah, so we're local to the area around here. So.
Okay, good. And what do y'all think the best use would be for it?
I probably...
Like this floor plan, like if we did create all these offices, do you think we could lease them out?
I think you could definitely lease them out. We recently sold our property management division off, and the people that bought it just rented a space about 4 or 5 doors down. And then like the space we were in, we rented out, and there's lots of like beauty salons coming in. There's more real estate companies coming in. I think there's lots of, I think another good use, honestly, would be the, I don't know what the right term for it is, it's one of those, so Monday on a Wednesday, where you come in and you just lease a space for an office, like a temporary...
Like a co-working spot? I was kind of thinking that as well. I mean, is there a need for something like that in this area?
So we have another spot that we're not doing it that way, we're doing a regular lease on it, but that's what he wanted, because he does teleconference meetings all day long, and he just needed a space for that because his broadband width wasn't good at home.
Sure.
And so there's definitely a need for that.
Gotcha.
There's so many realtors now that don't have brick and mortar.
Yeah.
A lot of them will meet at like title company spots and Starbucks and things like that, so I think there's definitely a need.
Well, I heard they revamped this theater right over here, right? Or is that kind of newish in regards to like
that whole
opening?
block is kind of in transition to a lot of that.
And there's a brewery apparently coming into town.
They talked to us.
I think it's right, like 2 doors behind. on this street. So
Cove is just growing leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
It really is.
Is that what you call it, Cove?
Locals call it Cove, yeah. It's a mouthful otherwise.
Yeah.
Copperas Cove.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look around. How'd y'all come up with this floor plan?
We use Matterport video, and then it does the floor plan. It's not, the measurements on there are not correct, but the lines are.
Yeah, it's not necessarily
This is
to scale,
current
but-
floor plan.
That's current floor plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So you see it's already got 4 different entrances, points, which is nice. Okay, gotcha.
I think it was a storage or it was another,
Not an owner operator though, it's probably like an investor that's,
the same owner, yeah, and I think they do part of the furniture store. I don't know if it's a storefront or storage tonight.
No. He's talking about people bought
Oh, it's the bought.
yeah,
Yeah, we can rent it out.
Gotcha.
Local furniture. Yeah, it's open lot on it.
okay, gotcha. Cool.
Encyclopedias, you want some?
They could be collector's items. See where Jordan's at. It's a little cooler in here than the last time when we were here. Yeah. It's interesting how they laid it out. Plus, it's a lot of half walls too. I think this goes back to the alley. Yeah. They did all their, from what I gathered, is they did all their deliveries back here. Toom, toom. I think there's one more.
So you have a vision for it yet?
No,
No? Figuring it out?
I don't think so. But, you know, I was thinking, you know, kind of what they said. They have like a co-working space. You could, I mean, think of like an assisted living, you know, some sort of storefront. You know, that's the thing is what I was envisioning is wall down here, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they're upstairs, 7.
Oh yeah, we got to check out upstairs.
Yeah. I'll just call Elon and see if he wants to.
Well, the fact that they were looking at it is interesting.
Kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I thought I just saw the bathroom. So this was cool too. I mean, this has that side entrance, which has the other street. This is the main street. This is the Avenue D, and this is kind of what they're revamping. All these stores here. That the brewery is going to be where that little boarding, where that paper's on the windows right there, from what they tell me.
What's it listed at right now?
1.4.
1.4. Anything you get them like 8?
I don't know. I mean, I when I talked to the, and I don't think it was this lady. I talked to somebody else that was part of the broker, and you know, I was talking to them about seller financing, etc. I was like, because otherwise, you know, we're gonna have to get it at a deep discount. And I said, you know, we probably want it at least 70%. She goes, well, I don't think that's not doable. So you just let me know. Bring us an offer.
Okay, let's see what your guy says.
Yeah.
After he runs his numbers and everything.
Yeah. But again, this space too is pretty cool. There's no door here, but I mean, it's got this mural. And we looked inside those doors, it was just storage, so it doesn't go inside. But in theory, I guess you could figure out a way to get an indoor-outdoor. And then the second story is above here.
Okay.
So
Let's
we can go walk that, yeah.
Yeah, let's go check that out. What are your thoughts?
I'm still compiling.
Still compiling?
Yeah, there's that. I guess they use this as their break room / offices.
Yeah.
What's the square footage of here?
This one's about 1,500, 1,600.
If we were to get under contract, we're probably going to need some time to get some sort of LOIs in place in order to get the loan. But is there anything that...
You know, she lives up in northeast Texas. She has, her daughter is here, Round Rock area, I think, actually. But she just wants to be rid of the maintenance on it, you know, having to have it sprayed for pest control and the windows cleaned, and you know, it's just something I think it's probably the end of the closure for her husband passing too. So she just needs to be mentally done with it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not in financial straits by any chance, but I think it's just a matter of closing that chapter out, and you know, her being far away and her daughter's having to do a lot of it for her, and also.
Do you know what the property taxes are on this?
Do you know those?
So here it says annually $7,621.
Does that seem about right? It seems pretty low.
It's pretty low, but
2.4.
yeah, so it's going to be valued at probably its as-is condition or lower, and so I'm sure when you did renovations to it, they're going to, you know, they like to make money, they're going to come up on it.
Yeah. Okay. What's the median home price here for?
About $250.
$250, and what about rents?
You're going to have like apartments that are going to start probably in the 600 range here, and then you're going to have houses up into the high 2000s, like maybe 2,600, 2,700, something along those lines.
For like a nice ranchette or something?
Yeah, you're probably looking at 2,800, 2,900.
Okay.
Average in-house rental, like a middle of the road, is going to be around 1,300, 1,400.
Okay. Has it risen much in the recent years?
Sales prices have. Obviously, they're plateauing right now. We're not seeing a drop in sales prices right now, but we're seeing additional days on market and additional seller concessions. So they're having to pay more.
What about rents?
Rents have absolutely, they've gone up about 17% in the last 2 years.
Okay. Do you know how many apartment complexes there are here? Is there like 5 or is there like 100?
No, probably like 5.
5.
Yeah. You've got some multifamily, like 4plexes, 6plexes, 8plexes, lots of duplexes, and a lot of them are going to be your like Class C older properties. But then you've got some, you know, newer ones that are probably half owner occupied, half investment. So where the owner lives on one side, rents out the other.
For the duplexes?
For the duplexes.
Yeah. Are y'all the realtors in the area?
There's several that are good ones. We've been around since 1908, so I'm 4th generation to own my business.
All right.
I think I've been around the whole time.
Do y'all find any multifamily owners who want to sell right now?
They're not as prevalent. I'm not finding those quite as prevalent. We've got one that's going to be coming up in the next probably year and a half, and he's got about 60 units, I guess. And they're like those 8plexes and 10plexes, just, you know, they're all kind of in a couple block radius. So I know he's going to be coming up, but no, they're kind of hanging on to a lot of them that we're seeing.
They probably owned them for a while. They probably owned
And
them.
they've owned them for a while, yes, and that they've had good rental history. And that's going to depend too on the time of the year. Like right now, things are slower on the rentals, but then in April, they're going to pick up and go through.
Why is that?
Because people don't want to move their kids during the
Christmas.
year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then also we get a lot of fresh baby officers in
Yeah.
around Easter starting to look.
Gotcha.
Because that's when they're getting ready to graduate from Winterwood. and
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right now it's kind of quiet. It'll pick up when tax refunds start coming in.
Yeah.
That's when times really, because they can go ahead and rent with their deposit and do something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Y'all want to see next door?
Do you want to see the mattress store?
Sure. So we don't own anything like this necessarily, but we'd be open to it so long as we have good tenants and we can make it work.
Absolutely.
Why'd the buyer back out of this one?
This is what I think I know, so don't leave this either. She was a former employee of the furniture store. I think she wanted to do her own thing, but she just doesn't have the capital.
So she just wasn't able to afford it?
Pretty big.
Yeah, she couldn't afford it.
Would she want to be a tenant?
She might be. That might be a good opportunity.
Is there a barbecue spot next to that main building?
There's something
I
over there.
smelt it.
Yeah.
smell some barbecue. Is there a good management company around here that you would recommend manage these?
So this one's going for 221.
We're starting to take over a few more.
Okay.
A few more.
We're starting to get back in business, even though I sold mine out.
27.
How many would y'all manage?
What did we manage? We were up, before we sold, we were at 800 units, 800 doors.
That's a lot.
And yeah, and so
So
it was just,
It's a big operation.
it was getting too big. So we're going back in it a little bit, but we're just doing select owners and select properties.
Yeah.
Very low key, and I'm handling them myself with my assistant, just because if we had a staff of about
Is that on loop,
six,
or
I guess
Crexley,
something
or-
like
This was on
800.
MLS.
And
Okay,
I
MLS.
couldn't keep my thumb on it,
Uh-huh.
and that's why if I can't know everything's perfect,
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
absolutely.
I'm sure you understand because you've been in that business. So, and then,
You just want to walk in and start firing people.
yeah. Jack Smith, I think he does property management over here, but he's the one that owns the majority of these buildings in this corner.
Y'all did mostly residential?
We were about 30% commercial and 70% residential.
Did y'all get a good deal when you sold it?
It was fair. It wasn't overly generous, but it was very fair.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It's funny, most property managers I talk to that have been doing it for a long time, when they stop managing, they're like, I got to start managing more properties.
Well, it's funny because the guy who bought it from me, he called me one day. I had called him, he returned my call, and he said, boy, your voice is a lot lighter now than it used to be. And so, like I say, yeah, I would like to do some more. It's just a matter of the right properties, the right owners, and me being in the control.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready to delegate that out anymore.
I hear you.
Yeah, so,
Well, would these be something you're interested in?
yeah, we would be interested in it.
I get a lot of it would depend on the right tenants that we get in here.
Yes, yeah.
If you don't mind, we don't even have to speak to her, but reach out to that lady and
Absolutely.
see if she's interested in leasing it instead.
Yeah.
That you may have a buyer for it. And
Yeah, it was a listing agent that was working with her, so I'll ask her to reach out and ask her if she would be interested in what she's looking at rent-wise. I won't offer her anything, I'll see what she says.
depending on what we do there, do you think you'd be able to connect us with tenants?
Depending on what you do, I think we can. It's just going to be a matter of what you end up with and the product. But yeah, we had, like on ours up there, we fielded a lot of interest. But
Yeah, I was gonna say that the gentleman who owns a lot of the stuff down here, I'm sure he fields a lot of interest as well.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And you know, you field a lot and maybe you rent to 90%, I mean to 10%, the other 90 can't qualify, or, you know, we don't want that in there. But definitely.
the co-op spaces would be an interesting deal because you could do a lot of half walls,
And I
etc.
really still like the idea, because Karen's husband is in the food industry. And we thought this end over here with that back entrance and all would be a really great banquet space. And there is far and few in between of those. If you could find someone that wanted to do that, or even if you did it yourself, rent out the space, because they can enter from this side, and I think it could be a really neat possibility.
Well, we'd probably need some help. Like I said, we don't have tenants lined up yet, but it would be needed in order for us to get a loan on it. And then I assume it's going to be a huge rehab budget no matter what we do. So ideally we get a lot of that funded from a lender. And they're just going to want to see the LOIs in place with tenants at least. And then at the end of it, we don't want to get stuck with a huge mortgage payment every month.
Absolutely. Yeah, that didn't work for you and your benefit.
So we'd probably rely on you guys a lot for help.
Yeah, we're here, we're not going anywhere. So,
Cool.
if it were me, I would make her 2 offers simultaneously. One for owner finance that would work for you, and then if you wanted to discount it something, because she talked about that, and maybe offer simultaneously and see which one works out better for her.
Problem with the seller finance is I doubt she's going to lend us our rehab budget. Which
No.
we're going to need that.
Right.
I mean, we could go get another loan for it, but probably would be better to have it all in one.
Yeah, because you do have to have that.
Okay, let's start with connecting with this tenant.
Sure.
I mean, this one's much easier to analyze, right?
Absolutely.
So let's see if she's interested in leasing it.
And maybe tomorrow on that one, because the listing agent is out of town today. So I'll try and call her when we leave here, but it maybe not till tomorrow, I'll have to see.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
we'll
rush.
do that.
We'll start with that, and then Jordan.
Yeah.
We'll wait on Jordan to tell us his thoughts with
He's got his hands full.
a full year's worth of work for him.
Yeah.
I like these.
Yeah, they're interesting, especially if we could figure out a deal.
I think we can.
Yeah.
Especially if she can help locate tenants. I mean, I bet she's real plugged in.
Seems like it. She's got 3 or 4 different properties around here.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Jordan has to say.
Yeah.
Let's connect with enTREpreneurial.
Yep.
The biggest question is, who's our tenant going to be?
Yeah.
So let's see if we can work through that with them,
Yeah. Okay.
or reach back out to Tesla. Just the fact that they were looking here is what's interesting to me. Obviously, I don't think they're going to rent this out from us, but Tesla doesn't look in spots for no reason.
Right. Thank you
I
for
like it.
coming out.
Yeah, of course, man. Great. I think great properties. Just we get some good tenants, and I think it'd be great.